And that was the first pitch of the match. Major semi-final. It's finals day of the 2022 Joyce Lester Shield, playing for the under-23 Women's National Championship. South Australia and Victoria playing on the backfield at the moment. But this game, Queensland, New South Wales 1v2. Winner, passage straight through to the grand final. Loser has to play the winner of SA Victoria. James Harris here, and alongside me is Anthony Weatherstone, coming here from magnificent Gunnerland, Adelaide Plains, West Beach in South Australia. And well, it's been a big 9 days of softball. We started out with the Gilly Shield. We're into the Joyce Lester Shield now. Last day of a big week of softball. Connell, lead off for New South Wales. Slight miss hit, and the pitcher, Emily Solomon, does the fielding and throws it over to Sivanasiva for the first out. Might take an opportunity to go round the diamond. It was, in fact, Emily Solomon doing the fielding. Matisse Sorbello is catching. Tallulah Sivanasiva at first base. Harari Kurihara at second. Mui Kurihara at shortstop, and Amaya Foxover is third base. Outfield, left to right, Monique Smith, Rhiannon Kemp, and Tanika Smith. That's your defensive lineup for Queensland. Second hitter is Nicole Conacher, the lefty for New South Wales. Another ground ball back to Solomon, so she's been in the play early. First and second outs recorded pretty quickly. Caitlin Wild for New South Wales in the box now. Two great teams going head to head. They took a win off one another in the minor rounds. Not much separates them. Even we know in South Australia of this great sporting rivalry between these two states. State of origin rivalry and other codes. High for a ball. Finding the edge. Plate umpire for today's Brett Tyler. First base is Angela Broadbent, and at third base Deb Keogh. And our fantastic scorers to my left, Fiona Goffer and Marcy Trzynski, colouring in the lines. Good shot, it hits just outside the line. Gee, that would have been trouble for Queensland if it stayed in. Down to dead man's alley out there in the right field corner. Would have been extra bases for sure. It came off like a shot from Caitlin Wild. Changed the ball. It's a bit wet, still on the grass. First national championship that I know of that's been played in May. At least here in South Australia. And not including the Gilly Shield that started in April. 30th of April, feels so long ago, that first day of that tournament. But fresh in the minds, the championship winning team from South Australia. That's a great at-bat from Wild. She saw a lot of pitches. Earned herself a base on balls, and New South Wales have their first runner aboard. It was a tough battle because she had to be patient. She didn't want to have three quick outs in the inning after Connell and Conacher both grounded out back to Solomon, the pitcher. And Jade Jensen comes to the plate. Solomon straight back to work, hitting that outside edge. So Jensen playing right field in this game, hitting 4 for New South Wales. There's a swing at that one. The host of the softball shout-out. Behind the count, 0-2, 2 out. change up. Jensen does enough to get bat on ball, and Kurihara was fortunate enough for the ball to come to her at the base. She meets it there to make the force out. And that'll do it for New South Wales at the top of the first. Thanks again to our crew at Spacequake Sports getting here nice and early for the 3 finals that we will live stream today. Major semi-final, then we'll do the prelim at 11:30, and then the big one, the grand final for the Joyce Lester Shield at 2 o'clock local time. It'll be Mother's Day to all the mums that watching from home, including Jordan, her first Mother's Day. Well, New South Wales defensive lineup looks like this. Bridie Murphy will pitch to Bella Lorenzo, Sarah Diner at first, Emily Gordon at 2, Caitlin Wild at 3, and Alyssa Connell at shortstop. Outfield left to right, Olivia Moore, Nicole Conacher, and Jade Jensen. They've got a DP, it's Amber Frost. DP for Queensland is Taylor Evans. She'll hit 8 in the lineup. So there you have it. There's your New South Wales defensive lineup, and leading off is the shortstop for Queensland, Kurihara. Well, here we go, about to get underway for the bottom of the first inning. Kurihara, first pitch swinging, and it's off the glove of Connell at shortstop. In 2 minds whether to stay down or come up for that one, and then just stuck a little backhanded glove at it. Kurihara aboard, goes down as an error to shortstop. Harari Kurihara in the left-handed batter's box. Younger sister of the leadoff. Look at the corners for New South Wales. It's like they know what's coming. Just let's keep that camera shot on just for this next pitch. Outfield's in. Shortstop's back, second's in a little, but look at first and third, closer than the pitcher. Just creeping in on Kurihara. And they're not on the lines either, so they're really trying to close that gap for Kurihara. Nowhere to go up the middle. That one's a called strike. Intriguing softball. Would be interesting to see if Coach Johannesson lets her swing away, seeing as that everyone's in close, because anything on the grass will go all the way to the fence, you'd think. She has a poke at that one, a swing, so we might see the field go back here a little now. Good battle. Kurihara drags this one, drags it, and it goes foul. Well, Donna might have been thinking I was just there, but just rolls foul. So we'll restart. 1 ball, 2 strikes. This one's popped up in second base. Gordon takes the catch. I think Connell was unnecessarily getting over there in her pocket, but here's the Eastern replay. Good catch taken by the left-handed second base. First out. Threat is still there on first base. Great block by Lorenzo. A base-saving block. Rhiannon Kemp for Queensland has had a rip snorter of a game, of a tournament, I should say. This has been her event. Bats 3 for Queensland. Not sure there's been a game that she hasn't contributed in. Got a good count, 2-0. Murphy for New South Wales, the chosen pitcher to start this game, their bench. And I love this, it's in alphabetical order, so thanks so much to the Queensland management for this. Evans, McKean, Orsini, Sheehan, Rickson and Yari. 2-1 count. Just gets bat on ball. It pops up to centre field. Conacher will take the catch. Kurihara has to go back to 1. 2 out. Here's the Eastern replay. Looked like she almost changed her mind halfway through that swing, but out made nevertheless. And we go to the four-hitter, Monique Smith for Queensland. It's a piece of this one into the alley. She's got all of it, goes to the fence. Kurihara takes off on the hit. She'll stand up at 3. She even turns. An RBI triple for the Queenslander. It's them off and running. Eastern replay. Conacher doing what she can to get there and probably just in 1 or 2 steps too close to have a chance at that one. Lorenzo calls timeout to have a word with Murphy, the pitcher. Queensland on the board early. There's Kurihara taking off for home, the first run of the game. Maya Foxover, the third base player for Queensland, now up to bat. Can hit a long ball. It's after that one on the letters. A good pitch from Murphy. 0-2 count. That's where she wants to be, in front. Again, Foxover chasing a high pitch. Fouls that one off. Count will remain 0-2 with 2 out here in the bottom of the first. Queensland drawing first blood after New South Wales had 2 quick outs before a walk from Caitlin Wild. Ground ball, shortstop, another bobble, and then a errant throw. So Alyssa Connell, a pair of errors here in the the bottom of the first inning, both costing runs. The first one putting the lead off on Kurihara, and this one off the bat of Foxover, Monique Smith scores. It just goes to show what can happen when you get the ball into play. It is tough conditions out there. It is a bit sticky. With all the rain that we've had, the grounds crew have done a magnificent job to get it playable, but same for both teams, so we'll see what happens when New South Wales get the ball into play. Sivanasiva, the new hitter for Queensland, with Foxover, the runner on 1. High for a ball. Murphy not short of any speed. It's just Queensland bats have been doing the job, getting the ball into play. Couple of pop-up fly balls, but still getting the ball into play. That's better. for Murphy, catching the outside edge. 2-2 count. Again, to the shortstop. And she beats the runner to the base. An interesting thought that she had. Take it on myself, and then she dove head first. Let's have a look at the Eastern replay. Again, just a slight fumble, and then she has to dive and reach. Foxover chose to slide on the inside edge of the base rather than the front of the base. Let's have a look at the Eastern replay. In with that right knee touching the front of the base and the left leg. Interesting positioning. So fielder's choice for Sivanasiva. Connell in the play a fair bit. Foxover forced out for the third out, but it was Queensland that put 2 big runs on the board in the first inning, and we've seen it time and time again. The team that scores first has a much better chance of winning the game of softball, but this is different. This is finals time. It's a 7-inning game, and you just never know what's going to happen, what fight either team has left in them. Brodie Murphy, the pitcher, will lead things off with a hit by pitch here in the top of the second. So lead off aboard for New South Wales, a chance. Dinah, the captain, shows bunt. Big lead off from Murphy on first. Horton going straight to small ball, even for the 6-hitter Dinah. Outside for ball 1. Both these teams so impressive during the minor rounds. Horton giving signals with a purpose. Murphy seems ready to go, and she would take off for 2 on the fumble from Sorbello. Advancing on a pass ball. And now runner in scoring position for Dinah. DP's on deck. That's Frost. Known for her speed. Coach Warren caught up with us after the last game to mention it. And it's a base on balls for Dinah. So a hit by pitch and a base on balls. First 2 batters for New South Wales. The force on to third base with no outs. Well, simple in theory for Frost. Get the ball behind the runners. Shows bunt. Perfectly laid down. It dies in the dirt, and she will perfectly execute a sacrifice bunt, advancing the 2 runners, both into scoring position. Murphy on 3. Let's have a look at the Eastern replay. How good was that bunt? You probably couldn't place it any better, but Sivanasiva did real well to get that turn and make the play. Sacrifice 3-4 for those scoring at home. We go to Emily Gordon. Left-hand fielder, right-hand batter. Outside edge for Solomon. Right side drops back, left side's inside the line, so effectively giving up a run. That's going to get in the gap. It's over the head of Smith. in right field. She's done exactly that. Ball behind the runners. Donnell will score from 2. Murphy scored from 3rd. A stand-up triple for Gordon. And in a blink of the eye, New South Wales tie up the game. 2 RBIs for Emily Gordon, the 8-hitter. Easton replay, there's the second run to cross the plate. Wow, what a shot from Gordon. Olivia Moore's the 9-hitter. Aggressively getting after it. They don't want to take the foot off the throat here, New South Wales, as Queensland really showed something in that first inning. Timeout called from Johannesson, the Queensland coach. This gives an opportunity for Kath Horton to speak to her charges. Plenty of noise coming from the New South dugout. Just the one out. It was a sacrifice bunt. So to review while we get the break, hit by pitch. First pitch at the top of the second inning. Murphy advanced. Moved to second on a pass ball. Donna did show bunt early on in the at-bat and then got a walk. Runners at 1 and 2 for DP Amber Frost. A sacrifice bunt, advancing both runners into scoring position, and then Emily Gordon smashed one. Squeeze play. Safe called. A 3rd run. Olivia Moore lays down the squeeze play. There she is, Moore, an RBI. Bunt down the 3rd baseline. Watch Foxover try and make the tag. Look at Kath Horton, the coach, right down at the plate to make sure she got a good view. Connell first pitch swinging. Trying to catch up. Great view, great pace from Gordon. A triple, and then scores on the squeeze play. Connell swings away again, fouling this one off. This one goes fair. Another hit for New South Wales as Connell stands up at 2. Moore will stand up at 3. Easton replay, gets her hands to the ball on the outside edge, hits it opposite field. Smith does well to reduce the damage, and Johannesson has already had 1 timeout. Going straight to Zunker. Chelsea Zunker for Queensland, the new pitcher into the game. Oh, it's been a massive second inning for New South Wales. Six batters, a hit by pitch, a base on balls, a sacrifice bunt, and 3 consecutive hits, including a squeeze play from Moore. Chelsea Zunker might not have thought she'd be coming in with 1 out in the second inning. but she's a competitor. Under 18s last month, player of the final. Made her Gilly Shield debut for Queensland just last week. And now spearheading the Queensland attack here after a change required. Solomon hit out of the game. Conacher, her second plate appearance. As she swings away. It's the Texas Liga, which will score the runner from 3. The throw comes in, not in time. No one covering 2, and Conacher will stand up in scoring position, advancing Connell to 3rd, scoring more. Make it 4 runs, 4 consecutive hits. Caitlin Wild, who had a base on balls. 8th batter of the inning. Here's the Eastern replay. Wild was tagging up at 3 because, yes, there's only 1 out for the 8th batter in the inning. New South Wales dugout up and about. Swing and a miss from Wild. Zunker now finding the groove. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 1 out, top of the second. 2 runners in scoring position, and New South Wales have just been electrifying here in the second. Change up. It bounced. No play at first. The runner didn't go either. So interesting. First strikeout of the ball game. Second out of the inning. 9th batter of the inning, the 4-hitter for New South Wales, Jay Jensen. Nearly got it done in the first. He got bat on ball, and it was Kurihara who came up with a great play to force out the runner at 2. Jensen swings at a high one. Four to 2 with 30 minutes into this major semi-final. We'll bring you a score update as soon as we can from the backfield. South Australia playing Victoria, the winner of that game to face the loser of this one. Around about 11:30, just depending on how long both games take. Jensen, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fouls this one off to stay alive in the count. Two on, 2 out. Top of the second. 2 runs the margin. Something's got to happen. Change up, outside edge. Well, now it will. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on, top of the second. 4 to 2, 2-run margin. Fouls it off. Count remains. I won't go through all the 2s again. Well, if you're just joining us, you've missed a heck of a start of a ball game. We'll catch you up. And I say we, because here's our man, Anthony Weatherstone. Jensen to the right side. Kurihara comes in to charge it. Round out the second. 9 batters. Well, let's review. New South Wales versus Queensland. Major semi-final winner. This is 1v2. Winner to go through to the grand final. And Emily Solomon started off on fire for Queensland. 2 quick outs, fielding them both before a walk, and then Jade Jensen was a fairly good piece of the ball, but well fielded at shortstop by Corey Howard, denying New South Wales no runs in the first. Queensland then went ball in play, that's all you need. Runner aboard from the error, force the error. 2 pop-up flyers from hitters 2 and 3 before Monique Smith, RBI triple. Fox over, hard hit ball to shortstop, another error. The runner scored from 3 to put 2 on the board. And then Queensland have just said, all right, you hear the plate, we'll have to come back right at you. They had 9 batters. Start off with a hit by pitch, then a walk, sacrifice bunt. 4 consecutive hits with RBIs to Gordon, Moore, and Conacher. 4 on the board to take a 2-run lead, a 4 spot in the top of the second, but they've got to hold it. It's like break and serve in tennis. If you can't defend it, doesn't mean anything.
Morning all. Happy Mother's Day to all. Happy Mother's Day, Geordie.
Bunt. Murphy does the fielding. Well, Queensland are already looking to mix it up here, get the ball into play. Score that a 1-3 for the first out off the first pitch.
My apologies for it's a little bit of a longer drive, and I've got down here. You wanted a quick update on the backfield. Victoria have taken an early lead. They are 1-0 up in the top of the second against SA. Millie Fidge on the mound for SA. Caitlin Laird on the mound for Victoria.
Ground ball, shortstop. Connell had a little bit of trouble in the first inning, but makes no mistake this time. And a sigh of relief and a smile from the face of the New South Wales shortstop.
Amelia McCurry has batted in the first run for Victoria, scoring Chloe Goodfellow for a 1-0 lead. Top 3, 2 out.
We will continue to bring you updates throughout that game. Sorbello, the catcher for Queensland, up to bat.
Plenty happening here early. I was watching it on the drive down. Emily Gordon shot.
Yeah, big hit out to the right side.
That's how you answer.
Swing and a miss. A 1-2-3 inning for New South Wales, and that will solidify that 2-run lead as we go into the third.
Yeah, there was an argument that we were expecting to see Rickson and Zunker in the first game, but obviously both teams holding their ace for what's to come. But we'll see what the scoreline does to change that, because you expect a semi-final to be a tight game. But you know, here we are in the second innings and it's 4-2. So some good hitting. Both teams have been hitting the ball well through the tournament. Queensland have had some great games where they've really just blown teams open. So
dominant. These two teams throughout this tournament. A loss each against each other, or a win each against each other. Let's put it that way throughout the event, and quite dominant as well. They're Victoria, probably the only other state to have won this event other than New South Wales and Queensland. Actually, Victoria won 3 in a row from memory.
Yeah, so New South Wales have got 5. 5 of the tournament wins. Queensland have got 2, Victoria 3. So this is the 11th version of the Joyce Lester Shield.
First time in Adelaide as we go to the top of the 3rd inning. And this is where we started, at the top of the 2nd. Bridie Murphy pitching for New South Wales, batting 5. First pitch hit by pitch. This time round she fouls one off. We will continue to bring you updates from the SA Vic game. It's Victoria 1-0 over SA at the moment. Murphy fouls that one off.
Did you get it done this morning, mate? Did you get breakfast done in time?
Maeve spoiled Jordan, let's just put it that way. She got...
I saw the card that Maeve put together yesterday. It was very impressive.
Good shot from Murphy. It's in the alley, which means extra bases. Just a matter of how many as she'll stand up at 2. A lead-off double for Murphy. She's had a good game.
Wow. Thought that was Lana Kayser there for a second. Into her alley, centre right.
Oh, speaking.
Great piece of the ball.
Speaking of Lana Kayser, she's joining us today. Oh, I've got a fist pump here from the big man. So we'll hear from Lana Kayser at the 11:30 game. National champion, Lana Kayser. Dinah.
Wow.
Who battled a good walk her first turn at bat.
The mother of the team.
Big cut in this one. Does that mean it's Mother's Day for her?
Wow. It could be.
Again, swinging away. New South Wales have shown intent.
Yeah.
Since giving up that early 2-run lead, they have come out firing.
It was like that first couple of runs was exactly what the tonic that New South Wales needed to sort of get into it and go hard, and that's exactly what they've done.
Well, South Australia would have put a little bit of thought in the back of their mind last night, beating them 7-0 in 5 innings. Sends you home with a bit to think about, doesn't it? And then only to be jumped by Queensland in the first inning, 2-0.
Yeah, in their defence, I mean, obviously the schedule, the 3 games in a row would have played a toll. And last night with South Australia not having won a game until that particular time in the day. So, oh, another hit by pitch. Didn't seem to worry the skipper from New South Wales a great deal. She's headed up to first.
Yeah, and 2 runners on as well with none out. Here's the Eastern replay and off the forearm.
Yeah. Yeah, not fussed. And away she goes. Expecting to see a bit of short ball here.
That's exactly what Frost did last inning when Murphy and Dinah were on first and second. Sacrifice bunt. Advancing both into scoring position. Low for a ball.
Sounds like the Penrith City Softball Association in New South Wales is barracking loud enough that they can hear it here, and it's making a difference. So shout out to Bridie and Amber.
Swing and foul from Frost. Now, I don't want to alert anyone, but there's a bright orange thing past the clouds in the sky. I haven't seen that for a few days.
What is that? Is that? No, it can't be.
Ground ball to short. Kurihara holds up, flips it over to her sister at 2. Forcing out Dinah, but Frost, with the speed that she's known for,
Well,
arrives safely for first, so a fielder's choice.
ironically, the scouting report coming out of the New South Wales coaching staff wasn't necessarily ringing true, but
Wasn't glowing, was it, on Frost speed?
Coach Scott, too, is the person you need to take that up with.
No, Warren.
Warren, sorry.
Wayne Warren. A pick off a 10.
Oh.
He's got the tag. Well, Eastern replay. Let's watch. They've gone for the squeeze play, which has left Murphy stranded. A great pick-off from Sorbello. And in 2 pitches, Queensland have got 2 outs, taken off 2 runners from the base paths. Threat's not over yet. Gibson had a monster hit out to right field. 2 RBI triple. Her first time at bat in this game.
It's an early win for New South Wales, though, because they've
Struck out for the 3rd out.
They've got the Queensland starter on in game 1 of the day in the 3rd innings. So the ploy to try and hit the starter off has worked. So,
well, that's the goal of every team,
absolutely.
isn't it? Let's get rid of the first one. Let's see what you got in the bullpen.
South Australia 2 out, but they've got runners at 2nd and 3rd after Abby Jorgensen has hit a single and Georgia Ballard was walked. Brooke Stewart's laid down a sacrifice bunt to advance them. And then there's been a wild pitch and Abby Jorgensen has advanced to 3rd, but Ballard has scored to tie that game up at 1-1 in the bottom of the 3rd, 2 out. So 2 close quality games on the go down here at West Beach. Beautiful Garnet land. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there and all those that are tuning in supporting their daughters here at the National Championships. And thank you to Soccer SA for scheduling my son's game at 9:30 at Modbury.
That meant an early start.
It was a very early start, yeah. It was that early start, I was able to watch Formula 1 qualifying at 6:30 from Miami. Oof. It's been a big morning. Didn't finish the stats till 1. So, but this is it. This is the big day, mate.
This is the last day.
You get to reintroduce yourself to your wife.
Kurihara, the lead-off for Queensland.
Is there a more imposing figure than the New South Wales captain, Diana, coming down and just basically changing the offensive mind of the hitter?
Yes, it was when Caitlin Wild was joining her. We had a shot of the defense when the bunt situation was on. You had Dinah 2 feet out of the left-handed batter's box and you had Wild 2 feet out of the right-handed batter's box, basically stopping the batter from swinging at all. Strikeout swinging. Murphy's in a groove.
Kurihara leaving nothing to chance there. Was all or nothing, got challenged up in the zone. Great pitching.
Bella Lorenzo, the flex player behind the plate for New South Wales, calling a beauty of a game so far. And despite the 2 runs, Queensland's threat came from the triple from Monique Smith. There's Kurihara finding the gap. On cue, past the left fielder. Koneka has to do the backing up and throws it in. It's a double.
That's perfectly executed. For those people that do the left-handed slapping part of it, that's what you want to see from that particular role. Sometimes you can caught pushing your hands through the plate, but she's just left the bat there and let her pitch in the mid-90s do the work for her, allowing her to control where she's put the shot. That's great batting.
5 of the 7 hits in this game so far have been extra base hits. One of them was a squeeze play.
Oh, yeah, I saw
and the
that.
other one was an RBI single.
Yeah.
Every hit counting today.
Yeah, it's that type of day, isn't it? The standard just lifts another level, which it's already an amazing standard, but...
Now, speaking of hitters that make it count, how's the tournament that this batter's having?
Rhiannon Kemp. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she's backed up in the from the Gillies as well, so where she was, you know, a contributor there, but leading the Queensland team, and has pretty much been influential in every game that she's played with the bat. She's just...
Well, it's like you were listening to the call on the way to the ground, because I said something very similar. She's a very impressive young hitter.
Ironically, the best batter in the 2019 under-23s that was at Redlands. So she's carried that form on for 4 years.
Wow, she's ageless.
Queensland, the defending champions, went through that tournament 10-0.
Yeah, nearly 3 years since we last played the Joyce Lester Shield. For a ball.
But, you know, game 1 of this series, the tournament, New South Wales put an end to that streak straight away. But since then, Queensland have been pretty faultless.
Oh, it just has to protect the outside edge, the left-hander. Gordon!
Oh, wow.
In time. Kemp puts it on the line, dives into first. That's the second out. Kurihara advances to third.
What an amazing effort.
Yeah, this will look good on the Eastern replay, just out of reach of Murphy. Gordon has to stop and pivot and turn, and probably not the right angle, but looked like a pretty close play. Here's Monique Smith.
Could be the
She already has an RBI triple in this game.
Probably be the only flaw with that left-handed second baseman, that they've got to turn their whole body around. And the camera angle showed us the runner at 3, but...
Smith fouls it.
But Queensland definitely matching that New South Wales very aggressive, positive intent in the box. They're swinging hard here. Runner at 3 with 2 out. You'll be happy to know, South Australian fans, that wow.
Don't leave us hanging. Oh, it's a hit up the middle. It's another RBI to Smith.
I haven't figured this timing out, when to speak yet. I've only been doing it for 6 months and I still haven't got it right.
There she is, the lead, Eastern replay. Kurihara easily will score from there. Konaka comes in to limit the damage. But Smith in this game, an RBI triple, an RBI single, and she brings Queensland to within 1.
Millie Fidge has hit a single over on diamond 2 to score Taylor Chillingworth for the go-ahead run. But then just after that, one of the national champions that Mr. Softball James interviewed last night, Neve Adams, has gone bang with a triple, scoring De Silva and the pinch runner, as SA now go 4-1 up in the bottom of the third. A 2-out rally by SA.
Yeah, a couple of national champions mentioned in that. Fidge and Adams, but also some
Chillingworth as well.
Chillingworth as well, yeah, and also some up-and-comers as well, and Indigo Becker Silver and Abby Jorgensen. Foxover is the hitter for Queensland. She hit a ball to shortstop that was playable. You'd think you'd give her the benefit of the doubt on how soft and sticky that, what's hard and sticky that field is over at shortstop, but it's not the hard that gives you a big high bounce. It's weird. Oh, gets a good piece of this one. Tracking backs left field. Takes a great catch. Olivia Moore. Whoa, I thought that was travelling. Foxover got plenty of it. She's been in the play more. A squeeze bunt, RBI in her first plate appearance, and then a great catch in her first play of the game. Foxover, have a look at this Eastern replay. Foxover looks like she's middled it. Watch her track back, glove side.
Well, I tell you what, I wasn't a fan of the 9 o'clock scheduled games, but I can tell you what, when they seem to schedule finals at 9 o'clock, they're crackers. This is just an absolute hit fest.
That's what everyone wants to see in softball. I mean, we all love a pitching duel, but I don't think there's a better type of game than two great teams just going head to head, getting the ball into play, seeing great defense, base running, bodies diving all over the shop, RBIs. Love calling the action.
Well, they're playing for a big prize. That break in between the games is going to be a massive chance, and with the Queensland starter Zunker on the line, it's going to be really important for Queensland to give her a break, because if they have to back up to a hot SA or Victoria coming off of the other game, it's sort of all or nothing. Not going to leave a lot in the tank for the end of the day, so especially with Grace Rickson maybe waiting in the wings there, it's
just spoilt for talent, aren't they, New South Wales? They've got Evans, Orsini and Rickson all played in the Gilly Shield last week in the bullpen.
And imagine if this was in January and some players from the US were available.
Zunker goes back to work. It's her third strikeout.
But she's been super impressive equally for Queensland. So winning the Under-18 Nationals final with a fairly dominant 7 innings performance from the start, and then contributing some solid innings through the Queensland Heats tournament. And it's hard to think that she's only, 17.
Back to the top of the order for Alyssa O'Connell, the game's original leadoff. The ground ball, her first plate appearance, straight back to Solomon, the pitcher. And then part of that big 9-batter inning that saw Solomon hit out of the game. Connell hit a double. Just off the end of the bat, Kurihara comes in. Another close play with the runner diving in, choosing to dive in rather than run through, and second out. Of the 5 hits for New South Wales, 4 of them have gone to right field.
Nicole Conacher, the only lefty in the New South Wales lineup, ironically would be probably have some experience with the Queensland team. She actually studies in Brisbane, so, but...
like our very own Pippa Adkins.
Yeah, but Coach Horton just couldn't leave her out of the team.
National champion Pippa Adkins, studying in Queensland as well, playing for her home state, South Australia. Zunker continues. Pop up, Foxover calls out the catcher, Sorbello, for a 1-2-3 inning. So Queensland seem to have steadied the ship.
No surprise with the pitching change that they've made. It's now, they've now sort of wrestled a little bit of that momentum back. They've at least put a stop to the back-to-back hits. Morning, Croft.
Here we are on the final day of the Joyce Lester Shield Under-23's National Championship. Backing up from the Gilly Shield, it's been 4 big days of softball for the Gillies Shield. This is the 4th big day of softball for the 23s. We've been challenged with some rain and wet conditions. Grounds crew did well to set up 3 makeshift diamonds.
Now, your grounds crew have done more than that. I mean, if anybody had seen what this diamond looked like Thursday and what it looked like on Friday and even Saturday, like just to have it come up and be at this level for games of a national championship finals, you know, hats off to you and your team, James.
Swimming SA contacted our office. They wanted to use this diamond for their state titles.
Yeah, and they would have had every right to as well. But and we've got to pay credit to you as well, mate. You're not just the charisma on the mic. You're actually out there, well, on the rake, on the tools. Well done.
I'd do a little bit more than that, but it's not about me.
I know you do a bit more.
This is Tallulah Sivanasiva.
Yeah, I mean, only 16 years old, obviously been a part of the under-18s, and had some big hits in the Gillies, which, again, for somebody her age, but just
16.
looks, yeah, I know, and just looks
She played
like
under 17s here in 2019, so 3 years ago.
Well,
So she would have been 13 playing under 17s.
yeah, and I wouldn't have doubted that too, because she has just got she's got a senior level power hitter swing, which of course now is the commentator's curse, but
Full count. Sivanasiva leading off the bottom of the 4th inning. Great pitching from Murphy.
yeah, that's impressive. Challenging her up in the zone.
Yeah, went up the ladder as well. And if she'd laid off it, she would have found herself with a base on ball. So,
Sorry,
great pitching.
I've just been updated by the Brisbane Panthers that she's 18. Thank you for that.
Well, not just Brisbane Panthers, by about
Everybody,
11 different people
Yeah.
telling us that she's 18. Thank you for those
Yeah.
watching at home. Bridie Murphy has put in a body of work in this game. 3 1/3 innings pitched, as well as a hit by pitch. She scored the first run across the plate for New South Wales first in the 2nd inning, and then led off with a double in the 3rd. So contributing with the bat and ball, the coach, Kath Horton, thinks you've done enough for the team. Hand it over to you, Charlie Orsini.
Yeah, well, we saw Charlie Orsini throwing rockets last night. You know, her fastest pitch was 105, and that was just in a warm-up. So she did a good job, pitched most of that 2nd game and closed out the 1st game against WA. So
just some pitching numbers for Bridie Murphy. She, like I said, pitched 3 1/3 inning, 3 strikeouts. Gave up 3 hits, all to centre field. Potentially let down a little bit in the field. A couple of errors were costly. But she's probably done enough to get a look in for any other games that New South Wales might play today. The teams that finish top 2 get a second chance, so we will see one of these teams in the next time slot, and we will see one of these teams at least in the last time slot, 2 p.m, grand final.
it promises to be a big one. South Australia still leading Victoria 4-1 as we go into the top of the 5th. SA starter Millie Fitch still on the mound, and Victoria have made a pitching change and Doney has come in. Thank you for the updated info, Brisbane Panthers. Apologies to the Sivanasiva family. We do our best as we can with the scouting reports and trying to find out the information about all the young talent we can, and appreciate the correction.
Not bad for a bunch of volunteers. Thanks to everyone who puts on the headset here at Softball SA. We put a bit of pride into our work and take a little bit of stick from time to time, but not everyone can do it, you know. There's a number of people that have been asked that might say no, and the people that we do have just put in a huge effort to bring you this broadcast, and we thank them so very much. Orsini and Harris going toe-to-toe here, bottom of the fourth with one out.
Harris in her first rep team for Queensland. So looking to be a positive contributor in the circle in a team that's got Solomon and Zunker in it.
Foul ball.
Comes from Brisbane, and Coach Johannessen's obviously rates her in the sense that he's put her in a final. Every at-bat here is going to matter. Yeah, great cut.
Yeah, and a good battle too. Not holding back here, Harris.
Well, we know Orsini's not going to hold anything back, so meeting fire with fire is the way to go. Chasing one halfway through the first semi-final here at the Under-23 Nationals. New South Wales definitely more noticeable this morning in the way that they're getting around. Obviously, they've had a good recovery overnight. Obviously, 3 games in 6 or 7 hours is going to be tough. So Coach Horton's done a good job to get them ready for this.
This one's into play out to left field, and a good catch taken by Moore. Good communication between the New South outfielders. Is the Eastern replay.
Yeah, good outfielding there. She's got to position first and then put her glove up. See some outfielders, they sort of put the glove straight away up and can sometimes make it a bit harder trying to work your angles, and slows you down a little bit as well. Coach Horton was one of the people that spoke a lot about footwork in preparation for the tournament. Believes that the footwork's probably not up to the standard of US counterparts, and is an area of the game that we need to improve in Australia, and it's a conscious point that she's improved, and there was some definite evidence there of some good fielding. Oh wow.
Orsini does well on a hard hit ball from Evans.
She is a rock star. That ball's come smashing back at her, and she's stuck a glove out, clean as you like.
There's the Eastern replay of Evans' shot, and before the camera could get there, the ball was in the glove of Orsini, and look at her, she bounces off a ball of energy.
Yeah, Coach Horton's, it's a good call there. He just sensed that the momentum was swinging back towards Queensland once Zunker had come on and put a stop to the bats of New South Wales, and Coach Horton has answered with Orsini, who's returned in kind. So now the game sort of becomes that, looking for that next person on base and then trying to build on that. 4-1 in game 2 over on Diamond 2 in the other semi-final. South Australia 4, Victoria 1. We're in the top of the 5th, 2 out. Victoria do have runners on in Mercury and Raiden at first and second, but it's 2 out. Fidge, 73 pitches into her work, still on in the circle from her start.
Caitlin Wild to lead things off here, top of the 5th. We're flying through this game now after, well, started out, felt like it was going to be a slugfest, a very high-scoring game, but the dust has settled a little bit, and both defences now on top.
Yeah, we expected with those pitching changes, trying to buy the starters some time, and I think it's going to be a very long day for Zonka, Orsini and Rickson. They've got a lot of work to do from here on out. Shout out to Vaughan, cheering on one of his workmates. Sorry, one of the workmates from Queensland. Hira playing in the pivots.
Go for a ball. Zonka really working the full zone, isn't she? She makes the most of it. She's up, she's down, she's in, she's out.
You've got to be against Caitlin Wild, one of the New South Wales power hitters in the lineup. Coach Horton talked about the fact that she's not only is she just a deep ball threat, she just hits the ball insanely hard. So one of their captains from the Hornsby district.
Jammed up, Sivanasiva nearly takes a great diving catch. The 18-year-old.
Yes, I was about to say that. Thank you.
Yeah,
I've updated the notes.
We get a couple of messages throughout the game. So
I know.
I haven't learned my lesson. I said I'd turn my phone off during the Gilly Shield. Didn't do it. Sivanasiva is the daughter of a Fijian-Australian former professional rugby league player.
Wow, that's a great pitch by Zonka.
Zonka with the strikeout, yeah.
On the inside. So, sorry. So, daughter of a gun, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we've got a few of those. Fijian-Australia that broke an international record for the most matches for Australia of any forward. Okay.
Sounds like a...
Good to know. Rugby league, not rugby union. I was very fascinated to know an interesting stat. Softball around the world is played by more people than AFL, NRL and netball combined. How's that for a stat?
Far out. Yeah, it's huge. The US and the European ball is massive, isn't it?
Well, it's played all around the world. And Europe and Africa, but all have strong leagues. South America, huge.
Don't even talk about Mexico. And if you want to find out about how some of the Australians are doing, the batter at the plate would be the person to check in with.
Softball shout out.
Jay Jensen, softballshoutout.com.au.
Huge Asian market of softball. It's getting into India as well.
Well, we've obviously got players over in the Japan Pro League with Parnaby and
Chinese Taipei are always strong.
Yeah, Porter and those players over there.
Strikeout swinging Zonka.
Yeah, that's a great pitch.
2 in the inning.
She's challenged her up high earlier in the count on faster pitches. That one, similar type of pitch, but she's just taken probably 5 or 6 Ks off the pitch itself. And Jensen was through her shot before the ball got there. So great pitching, Zonka.
Here's Orsini. Now, she's come in for Bridie Murphy. Bridie Murphy was hitting 5, and Orsini just slots straight into that hitting lineup. We saw her yesterday swing the bat a couple of times. One of them she put to the fence. Zunker versus Orsini. Probably wouldn't have thought that would be a matchup at any stage of the day.
No, but I would suggest what we've seen over the Gillies and the under-23s, get used to it, because I think we're going to see it for the next 10 years.
Strikeout looking, so 1, 2, 3 inning. Zunker strikes out the side, make it 5 for the game, and she's only been throwing for 2.5 innings.
Great shout out by Lee. She says, love seeing the coaches let her pitches hit. And that's a good point. We talked about it on the coverage on Thursday, that in chatting with the coaches, it was a concern because of the tournament being compacted into just 3 days of the minor round. There was some concern about obviously a bit of attrition and, you know, fatigue and those types of things. So, but to both of the coaches' credit, I mean, we saw Coach Johannesson on the Thursday night pull the trigger straight away and let his pitches hit. So, good shout out, Lee. Thanks for watching. Victoria have got a run back in the game over on Diamond 2, the other semi-final.
Does that make it 4-2?
4-2, sorry, I'm just catching how it happened. So Chloe Goodfellow's hit a single and scored. Amelia McCurry, who's done a great job after being injured in the Gillies, did an ankle and had a couple of day break, and she's come up. So she's been scored by Chloe Goodfellow. So leading off the bottom of the 5th, Jorgensen's been walked, has stolen second and got to third. So at none out, South Australia have a runner at 3. Donny in the circle for Victoria, bottom 5.
It's the bottom 5 here as well. New South Wales versus Queensland. New South Wales finished 2nd in the minor and Queensland finished 1st. They faced off twice in the minor round, a win apiece to both teams. Queensland in this game looked settled, held out New South Wales and then scored themselves twice in the first. New South Wales immediately responded with 4 of their own, and then Queensland battled in the third to score 1 to reduce the margin. 4-3 since then. It's been defense dominated. Orsini and Zunker both on the plate for their respective teams. Can't pick a winner at the moment, can you? Because Queensland look impenetrable in defense with Zunker on the stripe. Similarly, Orsini for New South Wales. So you'd probably say advantage New South Wales here, 4-3.
Yeah, bottom 5 too. So New South Wales are 9 outs away from getting a much needed rest and still got their ace in the sheds. So looking good for New South at the moment, but don't write Queensland off as Peebles goes with a shot to line drive to left field.
Yeah, Peebles in a pinch hit, single to left field, will move around back to the top of the order, and Kurihara, so leadoff gets aboard. And we can see some small ball specialists coming up in Kurihara 1 and Kurihara 2. Look at the New South defense.
Yeah, they are riding close. So the hitter here, Kurihara, what she's got to try and do, which is not easy against Orsini throwing at 100 k's an hour, is try and push that ball into the shortstop hole. Whoa.
Dinah is getting right in the face of Kurihara, yelling.
Yep.
But we've seen her hit a rope to the fence, haven't we, Kurihara?
Yeah, she can do it. But when you're only chasing one and you've still got the batting you've got behind you to come, that's what she had to do, was to try and advance this runner, because you've got Kemp 2 batters away who's just lighting the tournament up.
Timeout call from the Queensland coach. Now, what has happened there is that Kurihara felt the pressure of that third and first base, the corners for New South Wales, and she wasn't able to execute. Normally, the lead-off for Queensland, exceptional.
Yep.
Just felt a little bit of pressure there with the corners in tight, and she's swung at that bunt.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it a couple of times. We saw it in the final with SA New South and the Gillies, just trying to hide the bunt as long as they possibly can. There's no need to hide it. New South Wales defence is already there, but wow.
Into the centre right alley, it'll be extra base, hits Peebles, turns 2 for 3. The cutoff is Gordon, throws it into home, and Coach Johannesson holds both runners up.
That was a good call.
In score position, and Peebles looks like she's okay.
Yeah, that's a great way to answer the failed execution previous pitch, but great relay by New South Wales, saved a run and kept the runners at 2 and 3. I think the important thing, of course, the reason that he's held her up, even though she was coming in fast, is that you've got the other Kurihara here on deck, but then you've got the dangerous Rhiannon Kemp, the captain, who's on fire at the moment. So
yeah, Sorbello will be re-entered back into the game, because let's watch Peebles here. She turns on third, gets held up, slips over.
yeah.
She's done her job. Lead off single, gets back safely, and, well, got a chance here, Queensland, to get, well, not only tie the game, but get the lead with that runner on 2 with no outs. And they got their 2-hitter, Kurihara. Corners, in tight, yet again.
Well, this is big challenge here for Orsini. 2-3 with none out. The heart of Queensland's hitting lineup to come.
And ball into foul territory. Yeah, well, whatever happens here with Kurihara, there's none out. Rhiannon Kemp in the on-deck circle. So if Kurihara doesn't get it done, they got potentially their best hitter in their lineup to come.
You know what Lee Hull would do with her?
Put her on. Ground ball. Orsini checks the runner, fires it across to Dinah for the first out. Interestingly, Dinah had to get back to the base herself to cover first. That's the first out.
Kemp, Smith and Foxover all having positive contributions so far in this game. Queensland have to make the most of this opportunity.
First pitch swinging for Kemp. It was half a swing, fouling that one off. Sorbello re-entered into the game after Peebles' pinch hit single. Advanced to third on the double from Kurihara. There's your 2 base runners. Captain, fantastic. Drives one into the alley. Centre field will do the fielding on the fence. She's got wheels. She stands at 3. The ball gets away. She's got to go for home. Orsini's there to back up. 3-run score. Sorbello would have scored regardless. Kurihara scores from 2. And watch Kemp fly around the bases.
Well, in the immortal words of Lee Hull, repeat of earlier message, when the biggest threat offensively is on deck and first base is open,
you put her on.
Sometimes there's an argument to put her on. They went at her and she replied in kind. Great shot by the Queensland skipper. Didn't even follow through, just all timing, just saw the ball like a balloon. That's a huge at-bat.
Just saw in the relay for New South Wales, shortstop turned the wrong way, turned the back on the play, on the throw, so didn't get the footwork into the position, and then she had to turn all the way around to throw to third.
Yeah.
That's where the throw was offline. Orsini was there backing up, but another throw just off target as Kemp comes sliding into home.
How fast was she too? She was...
as quick as they come. Monique Smith already 2 hits in the game. Both times she's had RBIs. Won't do it this time, but she'll get a 3rd hit to right field. The left-handed second base player had to dive to her backhand side. Then the Queensland machine is back up on top. Four hits in the inning. And that'll do it for Orsini. Who's Queensland had warming up? Murphy's going to come back into the game.
That's still, I mean, a change in the sense that because of the pace that Orsini throws at, whilst Murphy's close around the mark, and they've already have granted Cena, just that change in pace, trying to offset the timing of the Queensland hit, especially when they're on a roll such as this. I mean, it's obviously protected her as well from seeing hitters 1 through 4 in the line. So good change by Coach Horton. I mean, New South Wales bats are going to have to answer going into the 6th. Obviously running out of time. Speaking of the 6th, it's top 6 over on Diamond 2. South Australia 5, Victoria 2. 1 out. Tash Straps has come into the middle for Australia. South Australia, sorry. And is now started pitching.
Foxover fouls that one off. Queensland in this inning, single, double, ground out, triple, single. 3 runs have scored. They arrest the lead of New South Wales and then take over on one swing of the bat from Rhiannon Kemp. She's been electrifying this tournament.
She must be in play for back-to-back batting trophies, you would think, at under 23 level, the way she's been going. I mean, there's obviously some other strong candidates from the other teams as well, but she has been lights out.
Yeah, we haven't had access to the stats for this tournament, hopefully for the grand final, but
yeah, we did try.
Every time we see the Queensland lineup, ground ball, Murphy will field this and rolled up her arm to field that one, and the second out lead runner gets to 2. So Foxover advancing the runner. Every time we review a Queensland game, it's Kemp.
Yeah.
Hits, RBIs, runs scored. It's the second out of the inning, and here's Sivanasiva. Ex-Bronco, I'm told.
1 out, runner at 2. Coach Janison telling her to be aggressive. If it's in the slot, he's saying go after it.
Hello, good eye from the 18-year-old.
Well, just as a little bit of a segue from last night when Queensland wanted to get back to their accommodation early in their 15-0 win over WA late last night while we were watching SA New South Wales. Kemp went 2 for 3 with 3 runs and an RBI. Monique Smith went 3 for 3 with 5 RBIs and scored 3 runs herself. And Foxover went 2 for 3 and scored 3 runs herself. So the Queensland middle order just came to last night and they've carried it on this morning.
I mean, Eric is over in Melbourne calling a baseball showcase. He would have replied, "Is that good?"
At this time of the tournament, it's great.
And in this game, we've seen Kemp with a 2 RBI triple. We've seen Monique Smith get 2 RBIs and go 3 for 3. Foxover's done her job. She's advanced runners contributing.
Well, even if they had put Kemp on, I mean, Smith still hit that shot to right field, so...
And Foxover got the second RBI of the game as well. Well, Murphy has pitched a walk to Sivanasiva after retiring spot Foxover. Smith, the runner on 2. Sivanasiva, the runner on 1. Swing and a miss for the 3rd out. And 3 runs done. The damage and the toll that it would take on this New South Wales team, we will see, because last time they were challenged by New South Wales, they put 4 on the board.
Yeah, but New South Wales have also done a great job in coming back. Both of these teams have just, when one team fires, the other one answers straight back. Coach Horton noticeably has brought her team out the front of the dugout here in a very important time at the top of the 6th, just assessing what their processes are, what they're looking to do, what's got them to where they are, and telling them that it's time to execute now. We've only got 6 outs to play with, so couldn't be let off any better by their captain, Sarah Diner, the mother of the team on Mother's Day. Zunker still in the middle, doing a great job since she's come on. A spot in the National Championship final, not that far away, and a much needed break for the other. A red hot SA or Victoria to come at 11:30. So the skipper from Sutherland Shire, shot up the middle, line drive. Didn't get all of it, but didn't need to. Great ball placement by Dinah, and becomes the much-needed lead-off that New South Wales wanted. Scouting report on Dinah is Coach Horton said she, quote, smashes the ball hard as I've ever seen a player of her age, quote. So we're just looking at a pinch running opportunity here. Captain's done her job. New South Wales chasing 2. So.
Yeah, the perfect response, a lead-off single from your captain. Amber Frost is the designated player. She comes to the box.
62, so Emma Sheehan.
To do the running.
Originally from Texas. Loved the Australian culture here, ended up staying. Utility, really dedicated, true team player, even if she doesn't understand all of the Australian jargon that Coach Horton uses.
Well, Sheehan's a pretty famous New South Wales name. It's like the Gophers of Queensland. They're everywhere, the Sheehans in New South Wales.
Yeah, well, plays for Sutherland in the Sutherland Shire.
Frost goes hard, but it's popped up. Kurihara to take the catch. Shortstop just had to move back behind second base. Kemp may have had it covered as well, but Kurihara got herself into a great position really quickly. See her move laterally then? First out.
Brings Emily Gordon from Newcastle to the plate. Already had a positive shot in this game to score some runs. New South Wales needed to do it again. Big lead off at first base by the pinch runner.
Strikeout victim to Zunker. Her last plate appearance. But still probably riding a wave after that 2 RBI triple that she hit in the second.
You can hear her grandparents making all types of racket up in the stands here. Driving over with her on a bit of a family road trip. Super proud. Proud as punch they are of the granddaughter. Good pitch by Zunker.
What's the etymology of the saying proud as punch? Is it one of those sayings, isn't it? That you just
Chuffed.
yeah. Fouls that one off, stays alive.
Zunker doing a great job of just working these edges inside, outside. And again, just that subtle change of pace. Again, she's gone away from the body that time. But again, having taken 7 or 8 Ks off of it and just had Gordon just having to reach out for it.
Doesn't stop challenging the hitter. Always asking a question.
Yeah.
All right, can you hit inside? All right, now I'm going to put one, buzz one by her in triple figures. Now I'm going to put on the outside edge. Now I'm going to change the speed up a little bit.
Yeah, well, that one there, she's gone back inside hard and just jammed her up a little bit. Gordon catching it on the barrel.
She crushes this one. Goes into foul territory. There's the bullpen and Solomon warming up, or warming back up.
Interesting.
There is a score update from the football game on in the background as well. It is 2-1 to the Orange team.
Orange team, that's the Sturt Lions. And that's the reason I'm here today, because that's who my son's playing for out at Modbury today.
We're not in Modbury though. That might be.
Oh no, that's not his team. He
16's team maybe.
plays in the Little Tacker team.
Gordon fouls that one off. Oh, it's been a good battle here. Gordon fouled off a few in a row now. There's Zunker on screen.
Yeah, she's fouled off both sides too, which, as we've seen, Zunker's going both sides of the plate, changing the pace. But Gordon so far good enough to keep fouling that ball off and stay in it. New South Wales still got that runner pinned at first with one out. Happened to them a bit this tournament. Great catching. Ball in the dirt.
And a good at-bat continues there to a full count.
Sorbello good enough to fall down low and not let that ball go loose. Would have allowed the runner to advance.
Ball 4, Gordon. What an at-bat. That would have been 8 or 9 pitch at-bat, I'd say. Grinds out a walk, advancing she into 2. 2 runners aboard with 1 out.
Yeah, that's an important, because she becomes the tying run. So all of a sudden now, a ball on the green, a ball on the green's going to tie it up. A ball on the green to the fence is going to, tie the whole game up. So
yeah, well, Queensland obviously learning from previous at-bats, more executed a squeeze play to perfection in her first plate appearance. So first pitch, they've gone up. They go up again. This one drops into play. Sivanasiva does the fielding. The two runners advance. Will go round to the top of the order for New South Wales. Important for both teams. For New South Wales, the runners in scoring position. For Queensland, the second out made. That one just out of reach of all three fielders that came in.
Notice how it just stopped though on the dirt. It just
Yep, sure did. So stuck in the mud, just died. Watch it pop up. Pop. Guys.
In the bunker, that's a sandwich after that. So Alyssa AJ Connell, 2 out.
Johannesson, the coach for Queensland. What's the message there? 2 out, let's just worry about the batter.
Yeah, obviously just maybe something that he's seen before happen, or just telling the field, just make the out.
Connell swings through that one at half pace almost, and she's got a smile on her face. She may have thought that one was there to be hit. She's made contact all 3 times. A ground out, a double, a ground out.
You notice that second base is fielding deep, shortstop's behind the line. Traditionally, there's a bit of an argument for a runner at 3 that you come in, but on 2 out, you would stay back. And he's told them to stay back because they can afford to play with at least 1 run to make the out to get out of the innings.
Swing above the letters. Yes, second base playing a lot deeper than what you normally see here. Even at the Gilly Shield, we didn't see infielders field that deep. So this is a minor shift for Connell.
Right field's right across, basically defending the line.
Got her swinging.
But Zonka, good enough. That's impressive stuff.
Zonka, 6 strikeouts since coming in. Relieving Solomon has really shut the New South Wales offense down as we head to the bottom of the 6th. New South Wales are trailing 6-4. All 4 runs coming in that big second inning. 9 batters.
Melissa wants an update from the Victorian game. Melissa, it's top 7. South Australia 6, Victoria 2. South Australia have been able to pick up another run scored on a wild pitch by Georgia King. So nobody on base, 1 out. SA 2 outs away from playing in the next game.
Substitution. Looks like Evans coming into 3rd. So Caitlin Wild's come out. Renner Evans moves over to 3rd. Is that just the one change they had? We freeze time right now, end the games as they are. It'll be New South Wales SA to play the preliminary final at, well, it's half an hour after the completion of either of those games, the last game to finish, or 11:30 as scheduled. But what that means is that SA play New South Wales. Now, they played at 10 a.m. Friday morning. In that game, it was New South Wales 5-2. And we saw Orsini pitch a complete game against Yankovic and Ruby Fidge for SA. So a tight one. And then in the final game last night, it was all SA, 11 hits to 3. They won 7-0 in 5 innings. We saw Millie Fidge and Michaela Yankovic combined for the 5-inning 3-hitter.
We've just seen Coach Horton make a timeout. I wasn't sure if that was before the pitch. He's called the pitch, but she was on diamond, so I don't know how they've called that.
Both coaches are pretty close to one another.
I think Coach Johannesson wants to know, because it was called a strike.
Here's the Eastern replay. We can't see
but
the coach.
you can see the batters.
But the batter did stop.
Has checked out.
We're going to have a no pitch
That's Kath Horton on screen, and plate umpire Brett Tyler comes over to say that we'll have no pitch on that one, so the strike won't be registered.
Just trying to figure out what's going on. It sounds like there was a re-entry.
Well, who came out? Yeah, Dinah came out and Sheen came in. So they've re-entered Dinah.
Yep.
And fortunately for the New South Wales coaching staff, they picked it up before
Just
the Queensland coaching staff did. You don't like to see that,
no,
but
you don't.
know, a rule's a rule, and you play within the rules. And that's why she was interrupting play. Back to the action. We've got a 1-1 count. Evans puts it to the right side, and Jade Jensen takes a good catch out of right field.
Game over on Diamond 2. South Australia through to the preliminary final. 6-2 winners over Victoria. Chloe Goodfellow had reached base on a fielder's choice to shortstop before Taylor Chillingworth's throw to Charlize Callahan had Raiden forced out at third. Game over. So
Ground ball. Evans, just new to the game, fires it across. That's a good arm.
that's a very good arm. So the loser of this game faces South Australia, who in that last game picked up 9 hits. Sorry, 6 hits, my apologies.
We go back to the top. Kurihara, her third time. 4th time to the plate. Made it the first on an error at shortstop. Advanced around and scored on the Monique Smith triple for the first run of the game. Then she was a strikeout victim in the 3rd and then in the 5th. Put one to the right side for a double.
So if you haven't got your mother a decent present and you're looking to do something, maybe trip down to West Beach to cheer on the under-23s and
bring her down to West Beach, buy her a drink from the bar. You can also buy the Stars merchandise, the T-shirts and the hoodies, the national champion Stars.
we'll get to see a couple of the national champion players as well. So very exciting 11:30 game coming up.
Kurihara with a hitter's count. Patiently watching. You can do that when you're 2 up in the bottom of the 6th. Ground ball, third base. It stays in. Evans to make the play. Good stretch from Dinah for the 3rd out. Consecutive plays at third base for Evans.
Quick innings. I think Kira Hana thought that was going to go out, so she sort of... But now New South Wales 3 outs away from preparing for a preliminary final at 11:30 against the red-hot South Australia.
They're at the right part of the order. Good stretch from Dinah. Hitter 2, Conacher. Then we'll see Evans and Jensen. They're the 3 due up hitters, 2, 3, 4.
And he's got the ability, Coach Henderson, to be able to keep Zunker in to close this game up, because now the opportunity for 3 outs and a break is going to be huge. I mean, all of the coaches said the most important thing, the most important goal in that minor round was to put themselves in a position to play off for top 2. 2 teams have earned that right, and they've been dominant in that capability. And the benefit is that ability to capture a little bit more data on the opposition as they're pushing themselves, but on the back of 3 days to have to then back up and then play 3 games in a row. We saw South Australia do it on Tuesday, but it's no easy feat.
The national champion winning South Australia on Tuesday did it. New South Wales going to their bench. Rickson enters the game for Conacher. The Rosemary 80 Rookie of the Year at the Gilly Shield. Zunker, a rising talent, versus Rickson, the Gilly Shield Rookie of the Year. Top 7, Queensland need 3 outs to progress through to the Joyce Lester Shield final. New South Wales need a couple of base runners. Who better? Rickson and Evans. Both valuable contributors last week at the Gilly Shield. High for a ball, and Zunker, although 2-2 to try and get Rickson chasing, looks like she's trying to be careful.
Yeah, she's a dangerous batter to challenge, because we saw her hit a huge triple on diamond 2.
Bat on ball, it's popped up. Sivanasiva makes the play. First out. Evans now. Easton replay. She got under that. Looked like she made better contact than that. Good catch. Evans gets a couple to look at, a 1-1 count now.
From the North Shore, played first year of Open Women's at the Gillies this time last week.
Fouls it off.
Mature player for her age is the scout report. Swings a heavy bat.
Fouling off a couple in a row. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Evans, can she keep New South Wales in the game? Another foul.
Good mix there by Zonka. Goes to a change, keeps it nice and low, forces her to reach out in front, stay alive in the count.
Still 1 ball, 2 strikes. Strikeout looking Zunker has been amazing.
Final day specialist.
That's her 7th strikeout. Timeout called. Is there a change coming? Or are we just checking?
He hasn't been afraid to swing the changes.
I don't see any player getting ready to come out. Maybe they're checking the New South Wales lineup, but plate umpire Tyler.
2 out.
All across it.
2 out. I just want to keep the momentum going if I could. I mean, granted, you're throwing to the dangerous Jensen, but he's...
Zunker just keeps going to work, peppering that outside edge. 2 called strikes.
Shout out to James Harris from South Australian Zone superstar, Georgia Hood.
Love Georgia.
From the Pensacola State. What a season she just had over there.
Panhandle Player of the Year. That'll do it. Queensland go through to the Joyce Lester Shield Grand Final. Zunker's thrown 8 strikeouts in relief after New South Wales put 4 on a board in a long second inning. There she is there, Zunker.
Yeah, that was a super impressive performance by her. That pitching change made all the difference. Came on and just shut that game right down. But more importantly, Rihanna Kemp, the captain, led the bats too. Base runners on, kept the pressure going. And the defending champions now get to have a nice 3-hour break and watch the home team, South Australia and New South Wales, go head-to-head at 11:30.
New South Wales will change dugouts. The high-ranked team will occupy third base dugout and have the advantage of batting last. And we'll bring you that action from 11:30. I'm pretty sure it'll stay as scheduled. And we'll be back in about 35 minutes. So don't go too far away. We'll be back for the preliminary final, New South Wales versus South Australia. And we'll see Queensland, the first team through to the Joyce Lester Shield final, coming up at 2 p.m.